Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to Game Development Club. Today's challenge is hopefully going to get you prepared for the Young Animator of the Year competition. You've got until September to put together your entry. It can be stop motion, it can be animated. Obviously, we're hoping that it will be animated in Blender. You have to be between 11 and 18, but the theme of your entry has to be to do with growth. So today's Blender challenge is to make something grow. It doesn't have to be a sunflower. But we've got something like this, a mesh, a model that changes as it expands. Something like that anyway. So how do we get started? Well, let's begin with an empty Blender file. Get rid of the cube with X. And in Paint 3D, I've just found on the 3D library a sunflower. And then remember last week I showed you how to save that as a 3D model. Remember to copy the file path where it saves it to so that when you go into Blender, you can file and import, and it was a GLB file, this one here. So I can paste in the file path and get the sunflower, that one. All right, so we won't see the textures until we go into a material view up here. But let's use the keyboard shortcuts today. If you press Z for the material preview mode, there we go. If we change the size of it, everything changes all at once. So we could make it grow, but we kind of want it to grow up to a certain size, and then the face, the head, the flowery bit will grow after. So we're going to need to do some separation of this. First, though, I would like some ground. So Shift A. Add a mesh, a plane, GZ to move it down. And to make it lumpy, there's lots of different ways for this. So I'm going to go into edit mode with tab, search for, because I can't remember the keyboard shortcut for this, so that's F3 on the keyboard, and subdivide. Oh look, it's Control E for subdivide. Subdivide splits that mesh up, but it's only splitting it up 2 by 2. If we go down here, we can split it up into 100 different places. That's going to be important because I want a random texture on here, and the color of the texture is going to change how high or high low this is. So I want it to look a bit lumpy and random like earth. Right, let's choose a random color. No, not a random color, an earthy color. Material tab, choose the base color to be a dark orange. Then for the clever bit, we are going to add a modifier, and it's a deforming modifier that displaces each vertex by a certain amount. Now, at the moment, every vertex, every point in 3D space is displaced by the same amount. But if we add in a texture, then the color of that texture closest to the vertex is going to be how much it moves up and down. That's what we want. So if we go to the texture tab and choose a new texture, which one should we have? Clouds could work. That's kind of what we want. You can change how much, like how close together, or back in the modifier, how strong. But I think a kind of lumpy earth thing should look okay. Right click, shade smooth, change it so it doesn't look like it's made out of plastic by, I don't know, increasing the roughness, something like that. That'll do. Right. For a simple animation, that's pretty much it. I'm going to add in, Shift A light. I'm going to have a point light and change to rendered mode so that as I move with G, this light, it looks like the sun's moving. Something like that, that'll do. Maybe I'll move that light in front so it shines on the face, change the power of it from a 10 watt bulb to maybe 100 watts and make it a bit warmer and sun-like. Nice. Then you're ready for your animation, aren't you? Because you can turn on keyframing, get your point light, your sun selected, give it a wiggle so that it remembers where it is at the beginning. Move it along the timeline. So maybe if I put it in the middle of the timeline, G to grab. Let's put it directly ahead for the middle of the day. Move it along to the end of our animation. G and over there. Right, here we go. Shift left to move to the first frame. Press play. That's our animation at the moment. It doesn't grow, but we've got some kind of dynamism. Something changes. If you're not seeing the shadows, it's probably because you're in material mode and you can't see the dynamic lighting. You've got to go into rendered mode. Next, let's change the camera. So 0 on your numpad. Click on the outside of the camera and fly mode with shift and tilde. That's the little ticky thing to the left of 1 on your keyboard. And then you use your Minecraft controls, your WAS and D, to get in a bit close. So that's how I want to end. There's a keyframe over there. Maybe at the beginning, I'll zoom out. There we go, something like that. Shift tilde for fly mode and zoom out over there. There we go. Right, shift left, space. That's the animation that we've got at the moment. Now I want the whole thing to grow. So, select the model, beginning of the timeline, and S for scale. Let's make it small. There it is. End of the timeline, S for scale, make it big. And that's not bad. We should probably stop there because we've had more than 5 minutes. So maybe next time I'll show you how to separate the different parts so that you can animate the head of the flower separately from the leaves and make them uncurl and all that kind of stuff. Anything's possible, but see if you can have an animation of something growing, something moving. See what you can do. You have until 4:20 to show off your growth animation. Good luck.